Okay, I'm back. So, Citrine, as you know, is aligned with the solar plexus chakra and the crown chakra. So, our solar plexus chakra is our center of empowerment. It is connected to the sun. If you think of the sun, a great big ball of power and energy. Self-acceptance, hence this kōrero. Self-esteem, self-confidence, our power of choice, action. Also, the ego is here, and the process of individualization, which is stepping out of these lower chakras and our subconscious programs and that which we have adopted throughout life, and meeting our, the sense of choice and empowerment here, and stepping into our own. So individualization, which is where we individualize, we separate from the group. We're no longer running with those patterns and pushed and pulled by life, and we walk in our own path. So I'm just going to read a little bit out of here and then translate it. So citrine is a powerful cleanser and regenerator. Carrying the power of the sun is exceedingly beneficial stone. It is warming, energizing, and highly creative. This is one of the crystals that never needs cleansing. It absorbs, transmutes, dissipates, grounds negative energy, and is therefore extremely protective for the environment. Citrine energizes every level of life. As an aura protector, it acts as an early warning system so that activation can be taken to protect oneself. It has the ability to cleanse the chakras, especially solar plexus and navel chakras. It activates the crown chakra and opens intuition. Citrine cleanses and balances the subtle bodies, aligning them with the physical. Probably just going to read this whole thing, maybe. Citrine is one of the stones of abundance. This dynamic stone teaches how to manifest and attracts wealth and prosperity, success, and all good things. Citrine is a happy, generous stone and encourages sharing what you have, and yet helps you to hold on to your wealth. It has the power to impart joy to all who behold it. Gloom and negativity have no place around citrine. It is a useful stone for smoothing group and family discord. Psychologically, citrine raises self-esteem and self-confidence and removes destructive tendency. It enhances individuality, improves motivation, activates creativity, and encourages self-expression. It makes you less sensitive, especially to criticism. It encourages acting on constructive criticism. It helps you to develop a positive attitude and look forward optimistically, going with the flow instead of hanging on to the past. This stone promotes enjoyment of new experiences and encourages exploring every possible avenue until you find the best solution. Mentally, citrine enhances concentration and revitalizes the mind. It is excellent for overcoming depression, fears, phobias. Citrine promotes inner calm so that wisdom can emerge. It helps in digesting information, analyzing situations, and steering them in a positive direction. This stone awakens the higher mind. Wearing a citrine pendant overcomes difficulty in verbalizing thoughts and feelings. Emotionally, citrine promotes joy in life. It releases negative traits, fears, feelings at the deepest of levels. It overcomes fear of responsibility and stops anger. The stone helps you to move into the flow of feelings and become emotionally balanced. Physically, citrine imparts energy and invigoration to the physical body. It is useful for people who are particularly sensitive to environmental and other outside influences. So, we hear the stone spoken of as it will do all this for you. Yes, there is energetic vibration and it will support this mahi, but we must commit and do the work ourselves. We must. This is it's our empowerment. It's our empowerment. It's the recognition of our innate power, and it is our, we must go through it. You've got to go through it to get through it. You can't rely on something outside of yourself to create change for you. However, you can honor the taonga, the gift from earth, the sacred mineral treasure, by working with it. And in this way, you're raising the vibration of it and yourself. So, actually, there's a lot in there. Everybody knows citrine. Well, not everybody knows it, but a lot of people know it, and it is a very powerful stone, and many people gravitate towards it because it is so abundant in what it can do. But if we look at all the kōrero in relation to the solar plexus chakra, so self-esteem, self-acceptance, power of choice, self-confidence, individualization, connection to the sun, taking action, manifestation, all those energies. If we look at those specific energies, they are the underlying mechanism that helps all this stuff to happen. If we look at self-acceptance on its own and accepting ourselves as we are at this moment in time, that actually is connected to our sense of power, our sense of self-confidence. Hey, it might not look how we want it to look, and this goes back to my kōrero yesterday around expectation, but there's power in accepting what is and how we are right now, because that is the beginning of the journey. You know, you've got to come to a point of acceptance before you can actually really go on that journey. Otherwise you're dragging along stuff that ultimately holds you back. So overall, the power of acceptance, you may say, does release us. Like, it is a cleanser. It is releasing that which, that resistance, that heaviness that holds us down. Regenerating, we can look at that as giving a new sense of an activation of power. Through acceptance, there's an only we can do that. That's activating our power within. We can look at carrying the power of the sun. We can actually look at the movement of the sun, practices around the sun. The beginning of the day is very, very powerful for anybody who connects into that. In the beginning, you may not feel the resonance of that energy, but over time, as you become more familiar with that practice and you form that connection, it's very, very powerful. Citrine energizes at every level. This is the activation of power, of our own empowerment. It resonates through all facets of our life once we recognize our own power. Activates the crown chakra and opens intuition. So part of recognizing our own power is actually a developmental stage in our evolution. And in that regard, aligned with the crown chakra, which is comprehension of life lessons, along with many other things, but it's an integral step in the journey, and so connects in that regard. Citrine is a stone of abundance, so we can come back to acceptance within this, because when you fully accept what you have, like the moment that is in front of you, you're really stepping out of lack. Acceptance of what is opens us up to what we have. And so it's shifting out of lack and like, non-acceptance, and that's not how I wanted, and not good enough, and I wish I had that, and blah, 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 and whatever, anything that you can imagine, that you could overlay onto that, your version of it. Acceptance opens us up to abundance and truly recognizing the nature of what we have. A dynamic stone teaches us how to manifest and attracts wealth and prosperity, success, and all good things. Now, this is actually, I believe, I translate this to the law of attraction, and like attracts like. And once we have acceptance of what is and are truly grateful for that, we vibrate differently. And then we attract different things. We move vastly differently. Could have a big story about that, but there's no need. I think you understand what I'm saying. Citrine is a happy, generous stone and encourages sharing what you have. So when you are abundant, you're no longer grasping. You want to give. Like, you recognize the true essence of the nature of giving and how beautiful that is, and you understand the more you give, the more you receive. It has the power to impart joy to all who behold it, and this path, like the pathway of enlightenment in our own evolutionary journey, ultimately does awaken us to a greater sense of joy. So what's happening here is working with the solar plexus. It's releasing the blockages that are in this area, and then it allows the energy to flow and opens us up to broader perspectives, many different experiences, and many different feelings, energies. Gloom and negativity have no place around citrine. It is a useful stone for smoothing group and family discord. Every time we do a little bit of work and we change ourselves, we then change how we meet the moments around us. It's pretty amazing. Psychologically, citrine raises self-esteem, self-confidence, and removes destructive tendencies. So in acceptance of what is, accepting ourselves and the recognition of our innate power, we do begin a process of, accepting yourself is really connected deeply to your sense of self-esteem and self-confidence. For me personally, just living in non-acceptance of myself, and then the slow gradual shift to fully accepting myself was like a flowering of my self-esteem, and then I began to hold myself in higher and higher regard, and that's self-esteem, to esteem yourself, and through fully accepting yourself, you are no longer, like all facets, the light and the dark, you are no longer affected by the projections of other people, when they're projecting their ick onto you, whatever that might be. It bounces off, because you have already done that mahi. You accept yourself and you recognize what they're doing, but your self-esteem is strong and your self-confidence is strong. Where was I? Enhances individuality. So this is the process of individualization as well. Gosh, 14 minutes. This is really long. I don't know whether I could go through all of this. It might not even upload. But essentially, you know, much of our lives, we actually move, we're working to programs. We don't even realize it. But this is the process of enlightenment and awakening. So it's stepping out of habitual patterns and programs, and ways of being that are passed down through generations, and it's stepping into our own flowering, and, you know, our empowerment, stepping out. Encourages creativity and self-expression. So it's, once again, that comes back to stepping out of programs and habitual ways of being to just, you know, walking in your truth, really. And everything is an expression of your true nature. And that's amazing. That's beautiful. Helps to develop a positive attitude, to look forward optimistically, going with the flow instead of hanging on to the past. So within acceptance of what is, we do actually live in the present moment as well. I'm not going to, you know, like, I wonder whether you're getting a feel for it. Does it make sense? Do you get a feel for this energy? One of the other foundational concepts around Citrine that I share is the process of alchemy, in the meeting of a moment. Like, you know, there's there's space here, and through our own sense of empowerment, through our own empowerment here and the life unfolding here, there's space here, and there's an alchemic process that happens when we stand in our own power and we see clearly, and we accept ourselves and what is within the present moment, and then we choose how we meet that moment. It's powerful. Like, there's a process that happens. It's not like, sometimes we can be really fused and the gap is very small, but the greater we build our sense of awareness, the more we step into our own power, the bigger this gap is. And this is where we get to choose. You know, we have more presence and a greater perspective, more choices and all that sort of stuff. And this is where healing, learning and growing happens in here, like this. So this taonga is made to ground into this knowledge and the power of how you meet your moments through acceptance, you know, which is a very, very powerful energy. Anyway, I hope this loads up. Oh, the sun's coming out. That's beautiful. So yeah, I have this taonga available here. If you have any questions, drop me a line. Lots of love from the crystal room. Ka kite.